We're lucky today that I'm now with His Majesty Sultan Muhammad Fuad Abdullah Kiram I. He's the head of the Royal Hashemite Sultanate of Sulu, the Royal Hashemite Sultanate of Sabah, and the Sultanate of Sulu and North Borneo Sabah, the unconquered kingdom. And I will ask several questions to the good Sultan regarding his plans, the scenarios going on in Mindanao, and some nitty-gritty about the Mindanao and the Philippines and his plan in the future. Yes, good morning, Sultan. First things first, can you give us a brief backgrounder of the Sultanate?
Firstly, I would like to greet Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi ta'ala wabarakatuh. Sultanate is a territory, state, or nation. Examples, in our case, for ease of management and to assure people participation similar to a democracy, a corporation named the Sultanate of Sulu Incorporated. In Brunei, in Saudi Arabia, he is the equivalent of a king. Indonesia and Malaysia, there are several sultans, and the kingship rotates every few years. To solve many problems in Sulu, they have been elected and proclaimed by the datos, the sharifs, and the indigenous tribes as sultan and thus the president of the corporation. While there are residual claimants, most have recognized the proclamations. Additionally, by inviting me and introducing me as the Sultan of Sulu at a state dinner January 30, 2009, my position was acknowledged by the government of the Philippines.
Okay, can you also educate us on the situation in the Sultanate? I've met and interviewed several claimants to the title of Sultan of Sulu, and that matter is not yet settled up to now. Can you expound, Sultan?
Well, while there are residual claimants, most have recognized the proclamations. Additionally, by inviting me and introducing me as the Sultan of Sulu at the state dinner last January 30, 2009, and my position was acknowledged by the government of the Philippines.
In a court case settled by compromise agreement in 1972, the Philippine government admitted that the entire archipelago was the private property of the descendants of King Louis Song, as evidenced by the original certificate of title 01-4 issued by the British Crown in 1764. That court document seems to include Spratlys, Palawan, and Sabah, which are shown on your map as belonging to the Sultanate. Can you explain, sir?
Yes, the archipelago was once all private property, and part of the Sultanate property was annotated to the Sultanate in 1903 by the Loisong Tajian royal clan. The court erred in its inclusion of the Spratlys, Palawan, in Sabah in its decision because those were gifted to the Sultanate by the Sultanate of Brunei in 1658, some 250 years earlier. To summarize, the current Sultanate is comprised of three parts. One, the original Sultanate settled and claimed in about 500 AD. Two, the gift of Brunei in 1658. And three, the gift of the Tajian clan of the western third of Mindanao, endorsed by the U.S. government, by the U.S. Governor William Howard Taft in 1903. In short, all of the land in the archipelago has always been private.
How many people are there in this Sultanate, and what is the current conditions and why?
We do not have a reliable census. The estimates run from 7.5 to 9 million. Half of them are hungry and too weak to achieve self-sufficiency. More than 500,000 are homeless, their homes, business, livelihood, and destroyed by the phony MILF-AFP war waged on behalf of the U.S. Malaysian oligarchs attempting to balkanize, carve up the territory to grab its assets of oil, gold, and other natural resources.
If I understand you correctly, Sultan, that is a very strong accusations. Do I get it that you feel this government is complicit with the U.S., Malaysia, and the MLF, and even the AFP in stealing the property of the Sultanate?
The evidence is compelling. The U.S. has long been on record as wanting to own Mindanao. The pattern was established in the Balkans using NATO and then the UN to take over entire nations. East Timor is the perfect confirmation.
I remember East Timor, and now it's controlled by the Jesuits. But anyway, Your Excellency, the task is gargantuan. I cannot imagine one man attempting it. Is there a resolution or solution to all the problems?
I am not alone. With Allah, all things are possible, and I have good people to help me. The Sultanate has assets of gold and cash that were dispersed for safekeeping in the 1935 era. We will ask the sister nations holding those assets to release them to us now so that we can begin to feed and care for our people. We have planned a weekly series of food, medical caravans to deliver relief goods and building materials to strengthen our people and let them rebuild their lives and livelihoods. When those caravans are moving, the people will consolidate under the banner of the Sultanate, and we will have peace.
Okay. In closing, Sultan, how do you plan to reunite the so-called sultans of Sulu, especially now that I can see that you're the only one who can handle it and focus in the so-called harmonious relationship with these people and with the Philippine government and the world?